Barnett with the iKISS Network. KISS standing for Keep It Simple Sister. We're here today for another segment of I Was, But God, Now I. And I'm very happy today that my friend Angie Collins-Cooper has said yes to being a part of this project. Angie, thank you so much for being here today.
You are very welcome.
And so, just to share a little bit about your testimony, what did you dream of being when you were a little girl?
Well, you know what? I thought about this, and I don't remember actually having any specific dream when I grew up, or as I was younger, until I started getting into high school and people start telling me what I was good at. I know I've always been very involved in keeping things together. Even as a little girl, they have pictures of me straightening things and doing things like that. But other than that, I just had a very loving family, so my dream was just to be happy, I guess. I didn't know anything different.
Well, that's good. But, you know, early in life that you knew you had that organizing and putting things together going on, and people noticed that about you at an early age.
Yes, yes.
That's awesome. So what career did you choose, and how has your career been?
Well, I actually went to school for computer science and criminal justice. I am in neither one of those fields right now. So I say that God chose my path because I'm actually in healthcare. My day job, I say, is I'm director of contracting, network contracting for skilled nursing facilities at United Healthcare. Wow. And actually, when I came home from school, my mother worked at Anthem, Blue Cross Blue Shield at the time, and they did an internship for the summer. And I went and started working there during the summer, and I stayed on, and that was over 20 years ago. Wow. So I've always been in the healthcare industry. Started off in external affairs and just pretty much did education and trainings. And now, probably for the past 12 years, I've been doing contracting negotiations. Wow.
And it sounds like you have a very responsible position. You say your role is as a director.
Yes.
Wow. So do you manage people or anything like that?
Right now, I currently don't have a staff per se, but my goal, my focus more so is to manage the managed care division of our nursing facilities. Okay. So to make sure that things are staying in order with contract rules, guidelines, regulations.
Oh, okay. So even though you've had a very responsible career and successful, it sounds like, you still had something burning on the inside that made you look to do something different. Tell us what that was all about.
So I can remember back in college, I said, oh, you know what, I think I'm going to take this interior design class just to see what it's about. And it seemed like everything that they were saying in the class, I already knew. It's like it was in the back of my head. And I was like, this is good stuff. And as soon as I started taking that class, and even people in the dorms are like, can you do our room? We like how your room is decorated. And that's kind of how it actually started. I knew that I had a passion for it when I couldn't sleep. And I was very prayerful because I didn't know what it was. I was a young Christian at the time, renewed Christian, I guess, and I didn't know what passion meant. And as I start seeing things, I start visualizing, I start having visions and dreams, and one day I just woke up in the middle of the night and went to the stairs and just sat there and just started crying. Wow. But then that's how my business name came into play. It came to me that night, and from that point, every single thing has been gifted to me. Wow. in that area. I had no clue what I would be doing now versus what I was doing years ago.
Wow. So it was that passion, that burning energy that made you pursue that thing. Tell us about the name of your company, and because you said something that spurred my interest. Okay.
So the name of my company is Energy Consulting, and it is spelled I-N-N-E-R-G. And that name comes from, I'm a very energy related person, discernment some people call, and I design and decorate and give advice or consulting based on the energy I feel from people. And my motto is, when the energy the inner you becomes reality. Because a lot of people have dreams and visions. A lot of people say, I know what I want, but I don't know how to put it together. So I feel like God has placed me as having a gift to help people realize their vision. And their vision is what's around them. It's in their home, it's in their community, it's in their office space. It can be a bathroom. If that's where you go, your closet of sanctuary, then that's where I feel like I want to deposit into.
Wow, that is really awesome that he's allowed you to work in your true gifting and calling.
Yes.
So tell us about some of how you followed your dreams, some of things that you've done.
Well, I remember, 11 years ago, 10 years ago, we were just starting New Beginnings Fellowship. This is where I think my realization came to play. And this is where I got the vision for the name. I knew I wanted to go a new direction and get a new beginning. And we were at church, and it came up that they were starting a new church plant. And then the name was New Beginnings. I'm like, that's where I need to be. I even named my dog Energy before I knew the name Energy, but I spelled it E-N-E-R-G-Y. His name is not Energy now, it's Armani. But neither here nor there. I know it. But I think that was just a deposit of tools. Because sometimes I think he shows you things, but you don't realize what he's showing you until the revelation comes, you know?
I so get that.
And like now I get so fired up talking about what he's doing for the business and how he's helping me to deposit. So anyway, Pastor Jackson had asked me one day to meet because I was one of the first people who wanted to join, and we was meeting, and one day he looked at me and he said, "What's your passion? What drives you?" First thing that came to mind, I wasn't even had a business name at this time. I said, "I like to design." He's like, "Well, I like to bring you in on a project." And it was for the church, the new church building. Had no clue what I was getting myself into. And initially started for me to decorate his office and design his office. And I went to a meeting, and the architect was there, and the project manager was there, and I was excited. I even had a board put together. It's just things that I naturally started doing. And the architect said, "We need you on our team." And I was hired to do the project for for New Beginnings Fellowship. And that was the initial phase. And today it's still amazes me that I was on a multi-million-dollar project and God still remained me to be humble. Like, I think about that. It really was a multi-million-dollar project, from the brick, picking the brick, the mortar, and it's just to the ceiling panels, from everything you visually see is what I selected for New Beginnings. And then it just turned over and went from there. I'll let you have another.
No, please.
And some things that I think about now is I also serve on ministry in New Beginnings. And I love the ministry, but it was still something I was missing. And I dedicated myself to that project. No charge, because I had no clue what to charge. Mm-hmm. But God kept saying it's not about the money. It's about your exposure. So months later, or years later, I got a phone call from the architect, years later, that he was working on another church project. And would I be interested in coming on? Put your bid together. I had no clue what the bid was. I had no clue. And God was like, I felt like God was saying, "You got to do it. You got to do it." And I started doing research. I started finding all this information. It blew my mind. And I submitted a bid for Mount Carmel Church.
Wow.
And I came in from the very beginning to the very end. And I'm telling you, everything has happened in the past 10 years. Everything has just happened. Some days I don't feel like that's what I'm supposed to do, but everything just has fallen into place. And today, this year has just amazed me. Has amazed me. And I lost that passion I felt when my father passed. Mm-hmm. And when I laid on him and I felt his spirit in me, and I know that, and I literally felt my father's spirit living in Heavenly Father, I was like, okay, I went through a lot. I was depressed. As he passed, I laid on him. I didn't leave him. I was going to take him home on that Saturday. I went to New Beginnings that Saturday morning. We were going to start service the following Sunday. And he passed. I got a phone call saying that he was going to pass. And I think a part of me died with him. But it's a part. And I remember Pastor Jackson telling me that you are never going to be the same. I never knew what that meant there. He said, but you have so much more. God has so much in store for you. But I went through a heavy depression from that. And I don't know, one day I woke up and I said, I got to get it together. Yeah. Depression to the point, gun next to my bedside. I felt the enemy in my bed. I've never talked about this, but I felt like God said, you have something more to do. And that's so many things developed from that. And that's when Mount Carmel came into place.
Wow. Look at what he will use
Yes.
to get us to where we're supposed to be.
Yes.
That is such an awesome testimony. How would you finish this? I was
scared.
But God
Removed my fear.
Now I
Flourishing.
Amen. Thank you so much,
You're
Angie.
welcome.
This
You're
is an
welcome.
awesome testimony, and I'm certain that many women will be blessed by your willingness to share.
Thank
God
you.
bless.
Thank you. God bless you too.